When Kenneth Killick designed the pyramid, he designed it as an antenna system to stop Sawyer Air Force Base from mind controlling humanity and entering the heart chakra to hurt humanity. In other words, this is a planet of free will. And as long as we have this antenna system, we can use it to heal the waters, we can use it to heal the planet, we can use it to heal the air, and we can control the atomic explosions through fire. I don't know how many of you know the Holy Grail Vortex, but it's important that you learn how to use it. But right along with learning how to use it is it's important for you to learn how to develop the eyes to see and the ears to hear, and that's what these exercises do. Okay? I don't know if you can see this crop circle up here, but that is a crop circle. Last year, along about April at one of the women's meetings, when all the high schools and the elementary schools were closing in the area because we had a threat of what, people? H1N1. Now, I work with the fairies and divas, and I work with the Knights Templars. And the whole purpose, and then what I've asked, is to have a small group come this year because I really want you people to learn how to use this energy. It may sound weird to you, but what I did is every time they had a contrail up in the sky, I asked that the fairies and divas and the Knights Templars turn that frequency into something that benefited mankind instead of harmed mankind. And when I went to the crop circles in England last summer, it was the first part of April to the middle of April, and I asked the fairies and divas. They had 79 crop circles. 2/3 of them were made to stop the H1N1 virus and other nonsense that they were sending to the people. That is what they were doing. Now, I have up here, and you really can't see very well, but I have a crop circle. How many of you can see it? Okay. Okay. Sort of. Nancy, you were at the ASD, right? And we went out with a couple hundred people, or maybe 50 with one and 80 with another, and we activated this crop circle to stop the pressure within the wellhead. And people, since they're dowsers, were coming around and saying, oh, we stopped at 20%, oh, we stopped at 15%. I don't know what it would have been if we had not stopped it. But we can actually do these things. And if you know the Holy Grail Vortex, you know that right here, that is the inner circle. And you say, from the point of light within the mind of God, let light descend on earth. At that point, you create a counterclockwise vortex. Then you come out a little bit and you say, from the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. Now, if you watched the Da Vinci Code, you knew that you had a sword and a cup. The sword is a standing wave. All low pressures are vortexes that create a standing wave. Can you visualize that? So we bring the energy into the earth. Now, we ask Bigfoot, the fairies and divas, the Templars, to change the frequency to lessen the strength of the wellhead. Then we come out to the edge of the crop circle and make a clockwise vortex. Now, can you visualize that we have a cup? We have the energy and frequency going out, down in, and we have the energy and frequency holding that energy within a cup. Can you visualize that by looking at the crop circle? Then you have, and you really can't see it, but 6 arrows pointing in. You have 3 going this way, which makes a Star of David, a triangle, and you have the other 3, which makes another, and you spin that like a Merkaba. Now you have a motor bringing all of the oil back into the cup, changing the frequency under the wellhead so that it lessens the strength of the poison coming out of that well. This is what we need to learn to do as grid keepers. Now, every time I tried to touch that, there is a big, big economical reason why that wellhead has been taking so long, and I don't need to go into the history. About a week and a half ago, Fidel Castro, how many heard Fidel Castro or even saw that he was on the news? Why do you think he was on the news? And what did he say? Here is a man who's been sick for so long, and he came out to give us a message. He said that there is a war going on between North and South Korea, and that we may end up in a nuclear explosion because of it in the Gulf of Mexico. That's what he was warning the people of America. Why did he do that? From the very beginning, I heard that was a South Korean rig, and it was blown up by the North Koreans on Earth Day to start World War III and to start the war. It did not happen. And I am happy it did not happen, but there are a lot of reasons why that wellhead cannot be plugged. And it has to do with us on this planet taking the responsibility of being grid keepers. Okay? And that's what this convention is all about. So, you know, I said one time, especially when I was at the ASD, I was talking to a person, and he said, we were showing the maps about Sakara and how they are all lined up on the same parallel. And I know that I had a past life in Sakara. And I said, well, we have created New Sakara here. The reason why Sakara was created was to teach people how to move the huge blocks, to use the rods of Ptah, and to use the laser beams to create the Great Pyramid, which was an antenna system. How many of you people realize that these pyramids here are antenna systems? Okay? So it was created as an antenna system to tip the Earth back into a balanced orbit so it wouldn't spin out of orbit and save humanity in the 3rd dimension. And so we were trained to be grid keepers. However, this dowser said, you know, Mary, you created New Sakara because in the time of old Sakara, you didn't graduate. So all you people coming back here probably came back to graduate at this time period. So all of us that are really interested in you people like Leslie and Vicki and Daniel coming back each year, we're probably, maybe we graduated at Sakara before, but we're here to graduate now. And that's what's made a lot of sense to me. But to graduate, you have to develop yourself. And that's why I have given you these papers. Okay? I want you to read them over. I don't want to stand up here and read them. But there are 4 exercises. One is to relax the breath and breathe through the body. The second one is to use a blackboard. Now, and one of the reasons why I brought these up is because Daniel, when we were down at the last Sakara meeting, he said his aunt put a speck on the wall and gave him a chair and made him stare at that wall until he saw a new reality. Well, that in essence is what Blackboard is. And that's how you begin to see in other dimensions. But you have to practice. If you're set in front of a piano, which we were set in front of a beautiful grid system tonight, and you don't know how to move the energy within that, you have a problem. But before you can move the energy, you need to develop the eyes to see into other dimensions and the ears to hear into other dimensions. And when we built our pyramid, the designer was Kenneth Killick. These were the 4 exercises that he gave us. The second one is triangles. You know, we used to have these pictures where you have a lot of spots and you would see the spots and then you could see a picture. Well, that's learning to look past. If you learn to look past or hold your hands up to a spot on the wall, pretty soon your arms disappear and you can begin to see your own auric field. And that's where you start. So that is what you need to practice. You don't learn to play a piano by sitting in front of it and wishing you want to play. You learn to play a piano or be a grid master by learning to use the exercises and learning to do the exercises. And the last one is wheels. And you spin one ear this way and one ear this way. You stretch it all the way out, and then that allows you to transcend time, space, energy, and matter. And the oils allow you to transcend time, space, energy, and matter. So it's important that you spend time learning how to use these exercises. Okay? How many of you can see the sword and cup in this crop circle? When I went to the ASD, we did this. And I think we actually lessened the potential for danger there. Now, I'm going back to Fidel Castro. He came on the air because they were thinking of doing an atomic explosion to stop the well. Thank God they didn't. But that is why Castro said that the simple disharmony between North and South Korea was probably what created this wellhead explosion. And we have to put love into it, and as grid keepers, we have to be smart enough to re-engineer the earth to prevent it from happening. And that's what this weekend is all about. Do you want to show the next picture? I'm just trying because we have a very important speaker here named Chad, who is going to show us that all the cities are stargates. And then after he shows us the cities as being stargates, we're going to get Sean up here and we're going to sing love into all the city stargates. Doesn't that make sense to you? So that's what we're planning on doing. But we got to get the sun down enough so that we can see the pictures. Can you see Silbury Hill here? This is one of the oldest pyramids on the planet. It is a conical pyramid.